שלום וברוכים הבאים, אני רוזיתה פניני, אחת המייסדות של מכון מרים. המקום שבו ישראלים שלא תמיד מסכימים, אבל דווקא כן מדברים. אנחנו מביאים קולות שונים, דעות שונות, אבל אהבה אחת משותפת למדינה שלנו. כי עתידה של ישראל לא נקנה באמזון, הוא בידיים שלנו. אז תישארו איתנו לשיחה ישראלית, אמיתית, בלי פילטרים, אבל עם הרבה ערך וגם קצת צחוק. Good evening. A pleasure to see you all here. And honestly, for me to have Guy and Avitar join us tonight, and for the last 3 weeks that they've been with us, has been a great eye-opening. I'm sure you all know what happened on October 7th, 2023. But to hear it from them, it's a total different experience. But before we start, I know, Benjamin, you thanked everybody, and I will definitely second that too. But I want to thank you too, because without you, this work is not possible. So thank you so much. Let's start. October 7th, I would like you to share with us what happened to you that day, that night, that morning.
First, I want to say thanks to each one of you that came here to hear us today, each one of you that prayed for us and hoped that we come back alive and didn't forget us for the whole 2 years. So thank you very much. I also want to say a big thank you to Rosita and Benjamin of Miriam Institute that is taking care of us and helping us with everything we need in all those 3 weeks.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome.
So, on the 7th of October, me and Avitar went to the Nova Music Festival along with 2 of our best friends, Idan Aramati and Ron Sarfati. May their soul rest in peace. On that day, it was the first time me and Avitar, Idan and Ron, went to a music festival together, and it was supposed to be a great day, a night, but it was a great night, and I was the happiest around 6 a.m. when my brother Gal joined us. However, this happiness didn't last long, because a little time after the alarms went off, and the sky filled with rockets. They said that the party is canceled, that everyone needs to go home. So we started to pack our stuff, and there was a very, very hard traffic. So at some point, a policeman knocked on our door, and he told us, please get out of the door of the car and go to hide in the bushes because the traffic is very hard and you won't be able to escape. So we hid in the bushes and we heard a lot of gunshots. So what we thought at that moment is it's probably 4, 5, 6 terrorists, and soon the army or the police will kill them and we will go back to our home. We had a plan to go to my brother's apartment. We wanted to keep party. He even told me, come with me in my car, and I told him that I would stay with my friends. And we really thought at that moment that we're gonna end that day in his apartment. But after a short time, trucks with terrorists, full of terrorists, came to the place, to our location, shooting, bombing, and killing everyone they saw. Me and Avitar, Idan, and Ron, we were on the first line, and we knew we had to run back. We ran back from the bush we was inside, and as soon as I got out, so many gunshots were aiming on me, and they shooting on me so much, it cracked trees around me, made holes in the sand, and I played dead. I flattened on the dunes. And after a minute or two, when they thought I'm dead, I took a deep breath and I ran into the trees. And this is when me and Aviatar, we reunited again, and we ran back very, very fast. But we got to a dead end where we can't go back anymore, and we had to hide. We tried to keep silent. Unfortunately, I lost my phone while I was running, so I couldn't text or talk with my brother or any one of my family members. And I remember we were flattened inside the bushes and we hearing yelling of the people that was partying. They're injured and they're dying and they scream for help and they're screaming out of fear. But no one came and they're suddenly dead, the voices fading. But instead of these voices of terrorists in Arabic are getting stronger, and we understand that they're coming close to us. And all I could thought at that moment is, I'm gonna die and I can do nothing about it. I was very, very scared. I disconnected my brain and all I could say in my head is repeat the sentence, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And I don't know how much time passed because I really disconnected my brain, but the first thing I heard after is a voice in Hebrew telling me, turn around and put your hands up or he will shoot you. And I saw a terrorist aiming his gun against me. And he took me out of the bushes. And I'm seeing around me bodies, a lot of bodies, and everything is blood. Everything is exploded, cars on fire, trees on fire. Hundreds of terrorists with green headband of Hamas, and I don't understand how it's possible, how it happened. The 2 hours before, we had the best time of our life. So they took us to the way of their truck, and they get us down on our knees. And I thought they're going to shoot us, and I thought at least my death will be fast, that they will execute us. But they beat us up, they punched us and kicked us, and they tied our legs and hands, and they threw us on the back on the truck. And then I was even more scared. I was terrified because I thought, now they're gonna take us to the people of Gaza to lynch us to death. And for the whole ride, I was terrified. And me and Avitar looked at each other. We were so scared. For our lucky, they did not lynch us to death, but when they took us in the streets, they stopped at each street and led the people of Gaza to beat us. And each time I thought this time they're gonna kill us, but they did not let it happen. But we were bleeding, and you can see it in the videos. They were beating us really hard.
So the first 8 months, you were in different apartments. Tell us about the experience that you had above ground.
So, for the first month, me, Guy, and Bar Cooperstein and Elkanah Buchbut, we were kidnapped together, and we spent together the first 34 days. So at first they took us to somewhere. We were in the center of Gaza most of the time. So they took us to an empty apartment with no furniture. There was nothing inside. They put each and one of us in a different corner of the room. Of course, we were tied up in our legs, in our hands, in our eyes, and we couldn't speak to each other. We were on a third or fourth floor. So when the bombings started, when Tzal, the IDF, started to bomb Gaza, so there were so much exploding around us, and the building started shaking and moving like that, and it felt it's going to collapse at any moment. It was very scary. And we've been in that conditions for 2 weeks. We had no mattresses. We slept on the hard floor. We couldn't sleep at night. Our shoulders were in big pains, and our legs, our back, everything. You just can't go asleep. You can't do nothing. And of course, we ate a little bit. We could barely drink water. Every time we asked for water, they brought us water, like a small cup, and they let us drink. They put that in our mouth. They let us drink, like maybe one sip, maybe two sip, like small ones, and they told us, stop. And then they moved to the other one. That was pretty much the first 2 weeks. Then they took us to a new place. When over there, me and Guy spoke to each other at the first time after 2 weeks that we couldn't speak to each other after we went through the 7th of October. So that was like an amazing moment for us because we thought we will never speak to each other again. That's pretty much the first days.
You moved through 8 different locations. Can you tell us a little bit how did they do that? How did they move you, and why did they move you from house to house?
So usually the regular plan was to move us in the early morning, like maybe 5 or 6 in the morning. They were very scared of agents of their people that's selling information to the IDF. And they were also very afraid of IDF, like IDF undercover soldiers that will stay and look for the hostages. So they try to do it secretly when no one will see us. So this was the regular plan, but there was one time when they went really far and they dressed me and Aviatar as Arabic women. And it sounds good, like no one will notice, but they're very stupid. And they were in a rush, and at this time I had long curly hair and it was blonde. There's no blonde Arabic women. And it was getting out of the hijab, so you could see it out of the hijab, and I had a mustache. Yes. So it was very, very, very scared. I was scared to walk in the streets looking like Arabic woman, but we managed to do it safely.
So after 8 months, I know Mivtza Arnon, I'm sure everybody is aware of that Mivtza when the IDF has went and rescued 4 of the hostages, that your life changed. And I know they told you that it's gonna get better. They're taking you to an amazing place to be at. You're gonna have a lot of food. Can you tell us about that experience after 8 months being above ground? Come on, Aviatar, you could do it. See the relationship here? This is something they like, unbelievable. From the age of 1.5, these little kids have been friends. They have been in the same unit in the army. Their whole life is a journey.
I remember in the kindergarten, Aviatar came in me and told me, "Guy, please be my friend." And I said, "Okay, let's be friends." And since then, we're best friends.
That's the exact story, yeah.
So after Mivtza Arnon, they told us that we're going to a better house. They prepared us 3 days before, and it never happens. They never prepare you to go from place to place, to move apartments. And they told us the next place there will be a lot of food. You will have electricity, so you will have air condition and television and radio all the time. And the guards, the terrorists, will behave you nice. And we were in very, very bad conditions, so we were excited. We said, finally we will have good condition. And we were 3 days like celebrating, yay, we're gonna go to a better place, finally. And at that night, they took us one by one to the streets. I was walking with a terrorist, and Aviatar was walking with a terrorist. And we walked in the streets of Gaza for around 15 minutes, even in the market, and we walked through so many people. It was I was scared to do it, because if someone will recognize me, it's a problem. And they took us inside an ambulance. They covered our eyes. And when we got out of the ambulance after like 20 minutes of ride, they took me out, and they like getting me down, and I'm going like under the ground, and I don't understand what is happening. Then they're removing my eye cover, and I see the tunnels of Hamas. And I was shocked, because they told me they're taking me to better places. And the biggest fear of me was that I got separated from Aviatar, because I couldn't see him. I was the first. At this time, I thought that they took me alone because my eyes were covered, but he told me not to look back. For my lucky, we were not separated, but I could not believe that we will get to a place with worse conditions than the conditions we had. But we had to deal for 1 year and 4 months with inhuman, harsh conditions, because the tunnel we've been in is 10 meters long, but the width is 80 centimeters, so we could not do like this with our hands. The 8 is 6 feet, like 1 meter and 80 centimeters, so we could stand, but we could not raise our hands. And there is no light, no sunlight. There is no air. The place was so small that we had mattress. We were with another former hostages, with Omer Venkert and Tal Shoam. So we had mattress for Omer, mattress for Tal, mattress for Aviatar, mattress for me. And above that mattress, like 30 centimeters above, there was a hole in the ground that we had to dig, and it was like our toilet. So we had to do our things inside, and there's no air condition. It's make the room smell really bad. And from what's inside that hole is growing worms, and they become flies, and they getting on us and the food that we eat. Everything is gray around you, and it's a place that you can easily lose it. We had a place to shower when they gave us to shower, but shower over there is dirty water in a bucket with like a plastic bottle that is cut to half.
So, we are not stretched for time, but I heard all the conditions that they went through. That is totally unimaginable. It's something that we can't even grasp what they went through. On February 22nd, was a video that was released that you both were in a van, videoed, seeing your friends that were inside the tunnel with you getting released. Can you tell us about what kind of feelings you went through on those moments when you saw your friends going home?
So that happened, of course, on the ceasefire, in the last week of the ceasefire. They were the last to get released at that deal. They told us to take us to somewhere, the terrorists. We didn't know where, we didn't know what they want from us. And then They just took us out of the tunnel. We didn't really understand what is happening. They tied our eyes, they put us inside a van, and they just took us to this weird ceremony. And they made us watch Omer Venker, that we've been with him at the tunnel for 8 months, 7, 8 months. They made us to watch Omer getting released. And they told us that we were going to be released soon also. So also they told us we're going to be released, but they always say like, your government is going to ruin everything and destroy everything. They want to do it, but your government won't let you go out. So it was horrible to see it, like
Jealous.
we felt so jealous. We knew they're going to see their families. It was Omer Venkert, אליה כהן ועומר שם טוב. And we knew they're going to see their families, and we're going to stay for, we don't know how long, at Gaza. And it was very hard. They just took it immediately back to the tunnels after that video. Yeah.
So almost 6 months after, on July 27th, I think it was, another video comes out. And there we see Aviatar digging his grave, speaking about what they eat, how many days he's there, how he's counting it. I want to hear from you, and I know that Guy, we could not see you clearly in that video, but we saw that you are behind the blanket that they put up. And I think the world shook up from seeing you in the condition that you wore. But at the beginning, I know I had several conversations. Because we didn't see Guy, we thought that maybe he was in the same condition and he passed away. So what was it for you that they forcing you to that movie? What did you think? Did you really think that they are going to be letting you die from starvation?
No, we didn't think for a moment that we're going to die from starvation. Our body was in it was really close to system collapse. We were in very bad conditions. We could barely walk, we could barely stand up. We had to calculate every move that we're doing to save energy, so we won't fade out or something like that. And our body could barely warm itself, so we were always like freezing. And so yeah, our body could barely warm itself. And apparently our bodies takes a lot of energy to warm itself. And we understood it only when we ate a little bit, like around 300 calories a day, which a normal person needs to eat like 2,500 calories a day. And so we didn't think we're going to die. We knew they need us alive, that we are an important card for them. And we knew they won't let us die. They're pretty stupid because they got us to this situation where we are very close to death, but we knew we won't die, and we always kept each other strong. Like our body was weak, but we tried to keep each other strong as much as we could.
I want to move a little bit forward because you came home, big day. And then a week to 10 days after, Guy, you spoke about being sexually assaulted. I want to ask you, what has given you the strength to speak about it? Why was it so important that you wanted to reveal it to the world?
So, at the tunnel where we stayed, our guards, the terrorists, were not mentally stable. They could enter our tunnel one day and give us our daily meal and tell us, do you want anything? Are you fine? And it doesn't matter if they gave us what we wanted, at least they asked. But there were times when they could enter and throw the food on us, insult us, and curse us. And it was very unstable. And one time at the ceasefire, one of our guards entered the tunnel and he started to say weird things. And he also said, I'm hearing voices in my head. There are friends in my head that's telling me stuff. And he behaved really weirdly. And for example, he used to play with our light. He used to close the lights for a couple of hours, then turn it on, then give us the daily meal and turn it off, and you can't see anything when there is no light in the tunnels. At this time, at the second ceasefire, one time he took us to shower, and when we finished, he took back everyone to the tunnel, and he took me to the room, and he let me sit on a chair. He covered my eyes, and he told me that them, Hamas, have information about a Shabak agent that looks exactly like me, but he has a tattoo on his leg. And that he need to check that I'm not a Shabak agent. And I was really scared to understand, when I understood that if he thinks that I'm a Shabak agent, he will abuse me even more. I was very frightened and maybe a little bit naive, because he knows that I don't have a tattoo on my leg. He saw me showering a lot of times, but I was very scared at this time. So he removed my clothes. He saw that I have no tattoo on the leg. And after this, he went back to his computer and he typed things in his computer, and I was still covered with my eyes, and he told me, you didn't saw girls for a long time, right? Do you watch porn? Do you want to make porn with me? And I was very scared because I knew at that point that he's not 100%. He said a lot of weird things for a lot of time, and I tried to get away from this without making him angry. So I told him, you're joking with me, right? It's not allowed in the Islam. And he laughed and he ignored all of the things I told him. He got behind me and started to touch on my body and to kiss me on my neck and my back. And after I don't know exactly how much time passed because I was freezing and I really wanted it to over, but when he stopped, he put his hands on my chest and he said, what is happening? Are you afraid? And he took me and he put a knife on my throat and he told me, if you ever tell this to anyone, I'll kill you. And I told him that I will not tell it to anyone. And then he took a gun on my head and he told me, if you ever tell about this to anyone, I will kill you. Now, the problem is in the tunnel that we've been in, there's a camera that watches us 24/7. Even when we were showering, when we were going to the toilet, and every time. So it's not only that I had to go through this, I could not tell to anyone about it, and Avitar didn't know about it until we got out. So it was very hard to me to keep it inside. And the second time was a couple of days later. when he entered our tunnel and he gave us our daily meal, it was brown water, brown dirty water with uncooked pasta and beans inside. Yeah, and we looked at each other, and even when we were hungry, we were looking at this and saying, this is not food for humans. But we ate it, and we didn't even finish to eat until he came again and said to everyone, now stop, go to your mattresses, close your eyes and don't move. And this is what we've done. After a couple minutes, he came again and told, Omer, Guy, come to me and get close to me. He put me on the wall and he covered my eyes with the corona mask, the blue one. He covered my eyes and he told me, don't move until I tell you to move. And I told him, for how long? And he said, as long as I will tell you not to move, maybe a week. And he told Omer to sit on 4 and bark like a dog. After a couple of minutes, he left the room, but we know that he watches us because of the camera, so we've done what he said to us. After a couple of minutes, he entered the room again, and he takes me, and he threw me on Omer, and he started to beat us really hard. He kicked us and punched us, and we cried, and we begged them to stop, and we asked them, why are you doing it? And he said, this is because how your government and Ben Gvir is treating the Palestinian prisoners in your country. And we know it's just an excuse, but this is what he said. After that, he took us to shower, and before I put on my clothes, he grabbed me by my hand hard and took me to the room. This time my eyes were not covered, and he grabbed my head and put it to the other side of him. He threw me on like a small couch in the room, and he rubbed his genital on my anus for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. After this, he just beat me again, and of course I froze again at that moment. I just wanted it to stop. I did not know what to do if I could not speak, if I need to try to push him away from me or it make it more violent. And after this, of course, he told me again that if I will tell anyone, he will kill me. So I entered the room, the tunnel, and my friends at Avitar, they're looking at me, they know immediately that something is wrong with me. They tell me, what is happening with you? I was pale and I could not talk the whole day. And I told them, I'm just angry, and I miss my family, that's all. I could not tell them anything. But before Tal and Omer left home, when I managed to know that they're going home, I thought a lot about a way to tell in big to Tal about that situation, because I wanted him to tell my family about it if I will die in Gaza and I won't return alive. But I told him that if I will come back, I want to tell them. It's important for me to talk about it because I want the people that hear my story will empower and gain strength. I want to increase the awareness of the world to this kind of things. I want people that experience those kind of things will know that they are never alone and it's not a shame to talk about it. When I was there also, I really thought a lot. I was stuck there and I could not run. I had to think a lot about this, and there was a lot of thoughts running in my mind, like maybe it's my fault, maybe I had to do something different. And
It's for you. Okay.
when I got out, I understood that this is a thing that a lot of people that going through this have in their head, and it destroyed my brain when I was there. So I know that there are a lot of people that choose not to talk about it, and I just want them, when they hear me, to know that they are never alone, and most importantly, it's never their fault.
Thank you, guys. 2 months before your release, you got separated. And I know, because you told me, that it was absolutely devastating. Avital, do you want to tell us about that time, the struggle that you went through?
Yeah. So one time, the commander of the terrorists, they were with us, he went inside our place, and he went inside with an opened camera, and he just told me and Guy, you two say goodbye to each other, like that. And then we just thought, okay, so he's joking, he's with an open camera, and it's a propaganda video probably. They like to do such things, like these kind of things, and they like to take the emotions out of us, so he's probably joking, right? This is what we said to each other. And he kept saying, say goodbye to each other. Now Guy is leaving. I take him with me. And we understood, like, we couldn't believe it. Like, we've been together at the captivity 1 year and 10 months. And just one day, he's saying that we're getting separated, that we're not going to see each other anymore. So we couldn't digest that fact. It's impossible. And when we understood it's real, we really started crying and yelling, and like we felt like I felt like a black hole inside my body. I felt like I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And also Guy, like we were so confused, and it felt like I don't know, a nightmare, something surreal. I don't know. It's so hard to describe it. Like a part of you, like it's been torn out of you, it's been taken. That was the thing that we were afraid the most, that we will get separated, because it was such our friendship was such an essential thing for our survival. And what we were afraid the most happened eventually. So they took him, and I stayed alone for the last 2 months. And for the first days, I was angry, and like I was furious, and I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I punched the walls, and I cried, and I yelled, and I was thinking maybe I'm going to get crazy, or I'm not going to survive that. I don't know. Like we lived together for so long. Like we have a daily routine already. We have our things we love to do or speaks. Like we know each other so well. Like we can help each other when we need help. And after a few days, I understood that if I'm going to keep thinking like that and be inside my black hole, I just cannot survive that mentally. And surviving mentally was the most important thing for us. Like it's the most important thing, to stay human and to stay sane. So it was hard, but I changed my mindset, and I managed to live on my own without Guy eventually. It was very hard, but it was possible.
Well, אתה רוצה להוסיף משהו? Go ahead.
So As Rosita said and Aviatar said, me and Aviatar are best friends. Since we're a year and a half, we were friends since kindergarten. We have so much in mutual. We were serving in the same unit in the army. And for us, even when we got in captivity, it was a blessing for us to be together. It was so important for us. And even after it was a year and 10 months, we didn't believe we got to be separated. We made a life there. It was our life. We had a routine of our own, and it was not easy. We used to fight a lot. In those extreme conditions, it's not easy to get along together for so long. I didn't leave him since the 6th of October. And I didn't left him until now. We're still together since we got out. But we managed to keep our own rules, and each time we had a fight, we end up arguing and crying after 5 minutes. In the time around that Aviatar had his video, when he looks like a skeleton, I had a very, very hard muscle loss in the shoulders. And for more than 2 months, I could not move my hands without screaming out of pain. And Aviatar, each time when I went to the restroom, he used to drop my pants, and when I finished, he would lift them up. And when even when they gave us showers, and it was around like once a month in that period, we didn't do it because one time we showered, and our body was so weak that we got sick. We couldn't warm ourselves after. So when we decided to not shower, we wanted to clean our armpit and our face and this area with baby wipes. So we had to lift my hands and wipe it with a baby wipe because I could not do it myself. And we were each other anchor. We used to talk about everything. And when they used to brainwash our heads and tell us, your family don't want you, your army is trying to kill you, your government don't want you, and we didn't know how much long we would stay there. Every time we supported each other mentally and physically. So for us, it was unimaginable. We were destroyed when they separated us.
My last question to you, what kind of a message you want to leave with the community?
First, I want to say again, thanks to each one of you that came here today and listened to us. We want to say thanks for all your prayers, for all your hopes. You wanted us to come alive, and we can feel it now after 4 weeks in the States. When we were in the tunnels, we were not connected to the real world. They didn't let us know what's happening outside, and more than that, they used to brainwash our heads. I told you, they used to tell us those kind of things. Your family and the people outside and the government don't want you. So we didn't know how big is the awareness of us until we got out. And after, like, especially in that time when we were in the States, we can feel all the love and the support, and it's so amazing. And we want to say thanks to each one of you. Also, there's a message that I want to tell. If I would talk with the guy before the 7th of October, I would tell myself, there is no way you have the power to go through what you've been through. But when we got pushed to extreme situations, we found the power inside of us, and it's okay to cry, and it's okay to break up. We broke up and we cried so much times. But we did find the power inside of us. If you would ask me before the 7th of October, I would tell you as a 22 years old that got kidnapped, that my biggest problem in life, that I crashed my car and I had a total loss and I had to take a bus to the work and wake up 1 hour before in 6 in the morning. And oh no, my life is so miserable. 1 hour before. And if I could talk to guy before 7th of October, I would tell him, go to the work and smile and be happy and wake up early in the morning. So I believe that everyone has this power inside of them. We are not special.
וואו. רוצה להגיד משהו?
So I want to add on Guy's what he's saying. He said we are not special. So I'll tell you what he means. Me and Guy and all the former hostages, all of us, most of us, managed to pull ourselves. We pulled ourselves up over there, and we managed to stay sane over there. All those extreme situations and the most hardest times that human can be through, can experience in his life. And my point is that we're no different than anyone of every person that's sitting in this room, because if we manage to do it, everyone can. Okay, my point is just if you feel that you're in a hard time, if you're going to lose hope, and it's okay to feel like that, just don't give up. Okay, just don't give up. And believe me, it can always be around the corner, always. And you can always find yourself great powers, and they will come on the worst times. That's how it works, and I want you to remember that. Thank you.
They say it takes a village to raise amazing guys like yourself. I was privileged to be introduced to your families from the beginning of the war. And I have to say that the village that you were surrounded with, your mothers, your fathers, your siblings, is what we see today. Those brave men have families behind them that honestly gave them the strength, fought for them, and today we see here Aviatar and Guy. We wish you all the health. We wish you only happiness from now on. Go on vacations, enjoy life because you need it. And that is what we all wish for the two of you and your family. זה היה בחיבוק, מה? נראה לך שלא יודע. וזהו להיום. תודה שהייתם איתנו. אם נהניתם, אל תשכחו לדרג, לשתף ולעקוב. זה עוזר לנו להגיע לעוד אנשים שאכפת להם ממה שקורה כאן בדיוק כמוכם. ניפגש בפרק הבא עם עוד קולות, רעיונות ונקודות מבט מישראל ולמען ישראל. עד אז המשיכו לחשוב, להקשיב ולהישאר סקרנים. שלכם, רוזיתה ממכון מרים.